Everyone, Dr. Adam Graves here, Colorado Natural Medicine. We're putting info on how to deal with coronavirus, social isolation, grief, loneliness, kind of some of the hard emotions and how not to get stuck in them. Christy Chanel, my newsletter blog writer, take it away.
I have a lot of questions in regards to grief and loneliness, and I have a feeling I'm probably not the only one dealing with this right now. And Adam, you know this, but for people who are watching, um, I lost both of my parents, and I'm raising two little young ones with my husband. And this time period in particular has really brought on a lot of grief. Um, I feel extra lonely. There are times where I just want my mom or my dad or to be able to call them. And this has exacerbated the grief of losing them. Can you talk a little bit about why that is and some things I
Yeah,
might be able to do about it?
yeah, so lots of information. Well, first, I think we need to, one, and you kind of have worked with me for a while, so you may know this better. But one, I think we need to all, um, we're all kind of taught, whether subconsciously or consciously, that pain is bad and something to be avoided. So our subconscious, our survival brain, anytime we feel pain or fear, it very much puts all its energy into distracting us, finding something to take that pain away, finding us to way to avoid that pain. So first is learn to sit with that pain. Take a deep breath, allow that process, allow those emotions to be felt. Feelings have to be felt. So if you're scared, if you're lonely, if you're sad, this is a lot. I mean, I've been through grief, you've been through grief. So this is not only grief, but shock and trauma, uncertainty. I think it's really hard to being when we're all kind of in this limbo waiting period. Is this going to be, are we social isolation for the next month or the next, year and a half? I've seen all the way. I doubt that'll happen, but none of us are good with limbo, right? If someone says, hey, in 6 months you can get out of your house and go back to normal life, we could kind of be like, okay, I can do 6 months. But when it's okay, we don't really know, I think that creates a lot of anxiety and fear. um, and those are all emotions you just have to learn to sit with, and learn to pass. And then on top of that, I also think,
Can I ask you though, what
yeah.
does that mean? What does it look like to sit with your emotions other than the literal translation of that?
Well, I know, I guess for me, I've learned, you know, one, everybody's different how they deal with emotions. So one, some people sitting with them is, hey, I need someone, a spouse or a friend or FaceTime. Hey, I just need to talk them out. I just need someone to listen to me and say, man, this is scary, this is miserable, I'm having a hard time juggling my kids and schoolwork. So if you're a type of person that kind of needs that to verbally process them, then you should reach out to friends that you can do with that, and find friends that are listen. There's friends that are just going to try to fix a situation and diminish your emotions, and there's friends that can create space. So some people need kind of space to talk about them. Other times, I know for me, like, oh, I'm doing better now, but Mondays are a hard day because Mondays usually when I get geared up, going to the office, get into work mode, and it's a whole different ball game now. So the way I do it is, if I'm feeling sad, I don't try to change that feeling. I just accept that, hey, there's a lot going on. I may not feel happy today, and that's okay. As long as I'm not harming myself or harming others, it's okay to have bad days and just be sad all day, and trust that if I just kind of accept that, then ideally tomorrow I may feel a little bit better, or I feel a little bit worse, or I just take it one day at a time. So for me, it's allowing myself to be kind of sad, I guess.
And I just gave one example, and you just did too, of things that we may be grieving. Can you talk more about what other people might be grieving during this time?
Um, yeah, I think Well, I think a lot of us are grieving kind of a loss of this sense of safety and security. Um, we thought, hey, if we, work a job, make money, put roof over our heads, put food on our table for our kids, like everything's going to be okay. Um, the reality is that's not always the truth. Life is painful. Death comes, death goes. And so a lot of us are losing this false sense of security that we've kind of had. So that's where I help people kind of transition from security being in things we do or outside factors to finding more security in our relationships, in our heart, in ourselves, trusting that, hey, I don't know how to weather a pandemic, but I do believe in my ability to learn. And I believe in everybody's ability to learn if they're willing. And I trust I can learn how to cope in these weird, frustrating, exhausting times.
Which leads to the next question of what are some great coping mechanisms? Not only are we grieving, but so many of us feel alone.
Yeah.
And I know I can call someone, I know I can get on a Zoom call with someone, but at the end of the day, I'm still isolated.
Yep.
So there's still a loneliness there. How can we cope even though we're by ourselves?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good question. How to um, kind of cope with this feeling of loneliness. I think one way is um, trusting that, hey, this is a time where I'm socially isolated, but don't have to be as emotionally isolated. Um, and so and at the same time, it's like, hey, it's okay. I can't be, I feel lonely now, but this is not going to be forever. You know, this is a season. Hopefully in the next month to 2 month, we'll start, some people will be able to go out. We'll start kind of, reducing some of the social distancing guidelines and things like that. So part of it is weathering the storm, trusting that, hey, this storm is eventually going to pass and I'm going to be able to see my friends and give hugs and talk to them. In the meantime, unfortunately, we just kind of have to do that digitally. And if we're lonely, it's okay to be lonely at this time, you know? And then what I usually do if I am lonely, I look at maybe some of the areas in my life where I can take action. So if I feel lonely, it's like, okay, maybe this is a time to start to reaching out to other friends and connecting with them and just checking in on them. Say, hey, what's going on with you guys? How are you guys mentally? How are you guys emotionally? How are you guys physically? Um, Old family members or old friends, and try to develop this sense that ultimately we are all in this together. The whole world is going through this weird change. We feel alone, but we're not necessarily alone. We're all connected and we're all in this together. It's just a weird transition from real world connection to digital connection, and ideally transferring back to real world connection, in the next month or two. But I guess the way I deal with it is trusting that, one, this will pass, and then two, when I am feeling lonely, what can I do? How can I take action and reach out to people or call or check in and put myself out there to feel more connected to others?
Well, thank
Is that
you.
helpful?
Absolutely. I have lots to write about now. I hope you can all join us for our next one. In the meantime, I will have all this written up for you.
All right. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.